I'm going to stall just for a minute because I want all of the noise, all of the vehicles, and all of the noise to be on camera. I want them to get their debut with what I'm going to share and the proof I'm going to provide. I want them all to get their debut with what I'm going to share and the proof that I'm going to provide in a moment. I want all of the loud cars revving up, circling around, slowing, parking, hanging around to all get their debuts. Okay, since they're being paid to do this, let's let them all get their debut. Okay, so anyway, yeah, right now they're going to just go circle around the outskirts for now. So I'm coming on so that I can give some more information. I know that they're going to attempt to have this not seen, and it's going to be seen. I'm going to go on several platforms and I will do the same thing. Okay, that's how this is going to work. So really, they might as well stop trying. My relatives and those that I grew up with, the one that I called Mother, Sheila Anderson. The one that I called older sister, and I'm saying it that way because I've gotten other information. I'm not going to get into that on this. That's not what this is about. Okay? Marlena Holloway, Osby, or whatever alias that she is going by at this time. Jean Lynette Holloway, Michelle Bracy. Uh, she goes by many. Okay? Possibly with a niece, Kriya Miles. Okay? I'm going here for a reason. I'm going to give you all what they're doing. That's why I said, let's wait, because I want every car, every loud, they're all being paid. So let's give them their spot in the light. They want it badly enough. So let's let them all have their debut. They've been working pretty damn hard for it, haven't they? And now they're just skirting around because, maybe they're shy. So they're circling around the outskirts. My kinfolk, relatives, there's one. One is kind of shy. Okay. A little bit cowardly. But as I was saying, so my relatives, along with possible Shane Mosley, it's a reason why I'm sharing that as well. I can't get into all the story. That'll take a trillion years for me to come on here with this particular live and give all the stories of why all of this is tied together. Why does this all somehow connect? I'm giving you all the origins, okay? Because it gets convoluted with time. There's more players, there's more individuals. It morphs into all sorts of shit over time, okay? Now, I can't get into the possibilities of who I might actually be because, again, I got to get hard. That I do not have hardcore evidence and facts for, okay? I don't. And so, because of that, you know, there's a whole lot of people that like to go around claiming that there's some kind of lost, love child of somebody famous because, they're trying to find a come up. They want some money. It's a scam. It is. It's a scam. I'm aware that that's a thing. Like, people use their intelligence, their gifts, they put all of that. It's like, man, you could have been something great if you would have just used it the other way instead of trying to figure out who you can scheme and scam on every goddamn day. But anyway, so I'm not going to do that because I don't have any desire or intention to misrepresent that. And, especially when it comes to these people, what I'm saying, if they're famous and if I don't have all the right information and what it could do to them and their families and stuff, that's not my heart's desire to do. Okay? Because it's unfair, and I understand what it's like to be treated unfairly and to be accused of things and to suffer unjustly because somebody get a bright idea someday. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to do that. So all due respect, let me do that too. Let me put my disclaimers. Okay, all due respect. Okay, to the ones that I think that I might be. Okay, and I have to say it like that. Because I could have gotten kidnapped and stuff like that. And I don't want to get into that. I could be wrong. That's not the main theme of this video. Okay? But to the ones that I might be, and those of you that are famous, because these are famous people that I actually might be. At least one of the motherfuckers is, okay? They're famous. I have no desire to be a problem. I can't imagine or understand, and maybe it's not for me too, okay? That's not even what's most important for me at this time. I have a son, and I am fighting for he and I, for our lives. That's what's primary for me right now. I don't have a desire to make unnecessary trouble unnecessarily for people. Hell, truth be told, I wasn't even ever really asking for anything except to be left alone. Now that's the kicker. And that might be hard for you all to swallow because the world that you all come from, when you become famous and you go down that life and that path, everybody wants money. Everybody wants something from you. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody is willing to do anything for it. So this might be hard and almost unreal to accept and understand that truthfully, my entire life, especially as an adult and, having a child of my own and moving on and dealing with the things in which we have lived, I actually just wanted to be left alone. Yeah, I feel like a lot was unfair because, I don't have anything to do with my forerunners, the people who came before me and the choices that they made and the reasons that they made them and all of those things, okay? I don't have shit to do with it, and neither does my son. So I essentially, the reason why you all are starting to hear such volatile or veracity come from me is because of the entitlement these dirt bags have to my son and me for their own personal gains. Their personal gains or their personal thirst for blood, because that's what this is. Okay, so now let me get to the point. Essentially, whether I origin from some famous people, or even if I origin from the people I thought I origin from, the bottom line is this: I wanted to be left alone. A long time ago. And when I say left alone, I'm not just talking about my physicality per se, like the okay, so you end the relationship, you cut off the relationship, and you move on. Okay, but I've been did that, so obviously there's more to it. I've been did that. I wanted me and my son and our lives to be left alone by whatever these weirdos are. The children of the corn, nigga. I don't really care what it is, what it's called, and why. I don't, that is not relevant as far as I'm concerned at this point, whether it is the highfalutin hoes and niggas of the Americas or trashy junkyard wannabes and everything in between. I don't care. I accept it. I understand. I was given a tip, an anonymous one, which I don't know how that's going to serve with what I'm doing in a few minutes. It's going to be an interesting night. I know that there's money that's mine and my son's, and was taken and stolen and hijacked by those I grew up with, the one I called mother, the one I called sibling, the one I called nieces, all of them motherfuckers. Okay? I am aware of that, monies and properties. I'm also aware that they are part of a cult. Okay? That is what's going on here in Beaumont, Texas. That is what all of that activity, all of this stuff is. That's what this is. And it's a thing. There are people who believe in human sacrifice. And that's what these people are up to. Attempting to sacrifice my son and me. You heard correctly. So that all of these people can continue to have these benefits, because basically some of these motherfuckers are being paid with shit that is actually mine and my son's. They got into cahoots with Beaumont Housing Authority, Mark Bounds, Oakleaf Estates, Marsha Rhymes, Delta Manor, Brandy Fox, several different residences in all of these areas. Delta Manor, it's flooded. The entire building 5, most of building 6 and 7 are involved with it. I have proof. I've got video footage, and I was given an anonymous tip. So they have been entering my son's premises since ever in the state of Texas, probably before even that, illegally. Me and my son have been poisoned, literally. And that's not hard to do when you are, first and foremost, if it's a small town and you're paying people to do stuff, you're giving them pictures and my name and pictures of my son and all of that. That's not far fetched to happen. Entering the premises to put shit, I've shared some of the shit with y'all already. Because, like I said, they always eventually, it's overkill. Their arrogance and their greed is going to always take them to what they do, timeline after timeline. Overkill. Overdoing it. Something to prove. The reason why I said I wanted to be left alone is because, listen, I accepted, because I've known for some time about the theft. That's not new information. That part, that's not the new. The other stuff became new because it continued to layer. So what happens is they've been stalking me through social media. As you all are watching, I am an advocate. I am an activist. That's who I am. You don't have to have $1 million to be that. That is who I am. That's what I am by heart, by nature. I'm a voice for those that society throws away because it's inconvenient to care and it's more money in not caring. And they have been stalking me from the beginning. This was a setup through the corruption of government and my relatives. They got into cahoots with all of these people. They do this because it gives them proximity to me, my son. It gives them access to everything. Your space is, that's the most vulnerable thing ever. That's where everything about you. And when people are in positions of power and authority, to have access, I'm going to continue with some more names in a minute. To have access to you and your children and your space, it's no wonder why me and my son kept getting sick. And we're not sickly people. See, this is where I'm going with this. You have to know who you are in yourself and all those things. We're not otherwise sickly people. We're not street runners. We don't do drugs and alcohol. We're not fucking all over the Americas. We're not involved with a wild and out life. We barely do anything and go anywhere. So it's real strange and peculiar for us to keep getting sick with certain, and it's always, it was weird. It was touching the doors or eating food at a certain time or certain places. It was just, and it kept happening. First time I blinked, the second time I blinked, because everybody comes into a case of food poisoning ever so often, or a stomach flu. Those things are normal to experience in life, but not the way my son and me have. On top of other things, physical. They've been using honey pots. My family have been interfering, mainly the mother and some of the siblings. And, as I said, she got involved with some people in Louisiana when I was a little girl. I mean, when I was a baby, when I was barely born. Okay? Which is my youngest sibling's father side of the family. People. The Prevosts and the Edwardses. Okay? It was Dennis Prevost, Vera Edwards, Denise Prevost the first, back in those days. And, I know and I'm aware that she got into some stuff there. And that's where I was possibly originally sacrificed. They trash. Anyway, as I was saying, they have been trying to sacrifice me and my son for forever. Some of this stuff was going on in California. I just didn't have the notice of it. It amplified in Nevada when I attempted to reconnect to my family, which is where all of the strange stuff started to happen, which is where my son gets assaulted physically. All sorts of weird and strange things. You guys are possibly looking at some of the cult members right here. I don't care. I'm going to continue to say what I'm saying. And they're going to suffer if they fucking play with my damn energy. Them and their household. Now, as I was saying, they have been stalking and harassing me. As you can see, these cars, the stores are closed. So let me go ahead and go on the record and note that. I'll put this onto another platform and create it and download it and save it so that it's seen, no matter how much they play with this. This plaza is closed. The stores are closed. Barnes & Noble's closed. People left. Now, somebody's going to say, well, maybe they're here to pick up some people. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they're here to pick up some people. And in fact, as I look at this, if I notice that there's no more people on here, I'm going to end this. I'm going to go on something else, and I'm going to move from here, and I dare any of them to follow me.